Greetings, Earthlings, and welcome to the Daily Space Weather. I'm your host, Dan, aka smAsho. Let's get started looking at the sun here. It's 171 angstroms plus the colorized magnetogram. We see 0 sunspots. Active region rising in the southeast does not show any umbrae yet. Sunspot 2781 has now set, and the active region in the Earth-facing zone is not a sunspot. It is the remnant of Sunspot 2782. And I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. We greatly appreciate all of you viewing the content, viewing the live premieres with us, and so on. We applaud you, the viewer. We don't commit fraud. We'll be talking about Ton 618 and a little bit more about how there are no sunspots, but great views of the local yellow dwarf. The 10.7 centimeter radial flux dropped down to 79. There is the 1-year chart of that. And here is the comparison of the radial flux to sunspot number. I'll shrink that down a little bit. There you go. Great view of that. And you can see how proportional the 10.7 centimeter radial flux is to the sunspot number. And let's move on to some Helio viewer movies. We've got some great ones. First, allow me to leave the screen. This is the LASCO C2 plus 193 angstroms. Here's a close-up on 193 angstroms. The full solar disk coronal hole in the north at mid to upper latitudes. Here's a close-up of the north solar polar coronal hole, as well as the one on screen left there. Fantastic view of the north solar polar coronal hole, especially. Here's a full disk view in 304 angstroms. Here's a close-up view of the active rising region. There could still be a sunspot hidden behind there. So far, we certainly don't see any umbrae. We checked when we did show prep. Great view of that. And let's zoom in a little bit closer. And leave us a comment. Let us know what your favorite wavelength is. Mine is probably 171 angstroms, the one you're seeing now. And lastly, let's look at the trailing portion of Sunspot 2781, whose umbra has now set, but we can still get a great view of all of the plasma filamentary behavior trailing it. And our regular viewers are well aware that sunspots on the limb are the most interesting for all kinds of different reasons. And before we move on, let me just check the life of the stream. We are streaming live, and we typically do so at twitch.tv/smAsho. And let's move on to some more stuff here. Today's Smash Lights segment is going to be short. I don't know if it'll be sweet or not. You'll have to let us know in the comments. We have updated the website. So we've got another video there at smAshomash.com. If you haven't checked out smAshomash.com yet, you can see all of our links there. And just bear with me one quick moment here, folks. I need to shrink down to a slightly smaller size to allow more data to appear on the video. There we go. How's that? That's fine. All right, cheers. So yeah, if you haven't checked out smAsho.com, highly recommend you do it. You can also go to smAsho.org, which will redirect you. And we've now got 3 videos on the homepage. We're not really using the homepage for video hosting, but it is a great link library. You can see our links are all there, as well as to our 2 stores, which we updated over the weekend. You can see smAsho.org presents The Sun 2, and The Sun Part 3. You can find all of those right on the homepage at smAsho.com. Thanks to everybody who signed up for the forum and so on. There are the social media links. And there are the 3 videos. And there's the forum, smAsho.com/forum. There are all kinds of different topics there for you to converse about. In fact, there's a forum topic specifically about COVIDiots. Also, don't forget to check out our stores, and you can link to those, the Smash store and the smAsho store. Here's one of them. And again, we've put some new products up here, including the Are You Safe Yet face mask and neck gaiter. Are you safe yet? And we've also put up condensed masker. If you haven't seen that yet, condensed masker. And we've also got some new shirts here. And that's all at... Well, you can link to it all at smAsho.com. Let's just say that. It's the Smash store and the smAsho store. And you can see all of those products there. We've also made this all-over print shirt, which you may want to check out. It's pretty over the top, honestly. It's got this condensed matter image, the smAsho.org logo, and then the sun / a lattice structure, a cutaway view of the sun in a lattice structure. On the sleeves, we think it's great. Here's the design, by the way. If you haven't seen the design yet, there's the design. You can check that out on our Discord page also. Condensed matter matters. And here's the Discord channel. And if you want to be in a live chat room and so on, we're hosting one here at discord.com/channels/smAshomash. Also follow us on other social media, such as Instagram. If you haven't checked us out there, please do so. Instagram.com/smAshomash. There's a quick peek for you. And if you enjoy the content on YouTube, please press like and subscribe over there. The links on the homepage at smAshomash.com link to these videos here. smAshomash.org presents The Sun, Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3. Thanks to all of our YouTube subscribers. We've also uploaded yesterday's Smash Lights, This is SNN, the Smash News Network video onto BitChute, because YouTube demonetized it. So if after review that video is confirmed by manual review to be demonetized, we will remove it from YouTube. So if you want to see yesterday's video, check it out now on YouTube. It might be coming down. Let's hope not. But if it does, it will still be available on BitChute as an exclusive. And we've got a bunch of exclusives over there. BitChute.com/smAshomash. Thanks to our new subscribers over there. We're also on Facebook. We've got a group on Facebook called Entropy Busters, because busting entropy is something we do daily. And if you're sick of Facebook, check out Minds.com, Minds.com/smAshomash. And I'm not going to say a word about that, but it's... And thanks for leaving a comment. We're delighted to see that you could make it. Be stoic. The election's not over yet. We're also on Twitter. We're approaching 3,000 tweets. And we still haven't gotten to 100 followers, although I haven't been active on there until the past couple of months. We're also on Gab, gab.com/smAshomash. One of President Trump's latest gabs is, why does the fake news media continuously assume that Joe Biden will ascend to the presidency, not even allowing our side to show, which we are just getting ready to do, how badly shattered and violated our great Constitution has been in the 2020 election. What say you? Do you have a comment about that? Anyway, again, we are there. It's gab.com/smashomash. It's what we use as the alternative to Twitter. And if you've got other ideas about other social media sites, I'm not sure that we're interested. Again, we are streaming live at Twitch, twitch.tv/smashomash. They've got a great mobile app, by the way. If you want to download that, it's totally free, and you can view our daily space weather videos live. We don't always shoot them live on Twitch, as we need exclusive content on all sites to encourage everybody to follow us in all locations. That's the end of the Smash stream. Today's cosmology segment is going to be short. We've been picking random objects between 1 and 1031. Between 1 and 1031, because that's how many objects are listed at the Neil Gorel Swift Bat X-ray Observatory. Today we're not going to do that at all, as yesterday we found one very interesting. It's Ton 618, and like other quasar, now Ton 618 is a quasar. It's believed to be 10.4 billion light years away, and it's believed to have a mass of 66 billion solar masses. Believed to be the largest, quote, black hole, and quote, ever discovered. This object has a full spectrum emission line. In other words, it's bright in radio, X-ray, and everything in between. And it's got emission lines from cooler gas. And another interesting thing is that the hydrogen beta line shows that some of the cooler gas is moving at a speed of 7,000 kilometers per second, which is about 10 times what you would see as far as the fastest solar wind speed typically coming out of the sun. Ton 618, if you want to read about it, we did update the forums. Here's Ton 618 on Sinbad, and it's way out there. This is the optical blue light, and there's Ton 618. Smashomash.com/forum has a cosmology thread, and if you click on the thread the most in there, you will find our updates talking about the most, and this one is believed to be the most massive black hole currently known. Let's look at cosmic rays as part of today's cosmology segment. Here is the Applaud neutron monitor, and there is Barentsburg, and you can see over the past 30 days they're both quite flat. Actually a slight downtick at Applaud and a slight downtick at Barentsburg as well. Let's go a little farther south to Athens, Greece. Actually, it's quite a lot farther south. And it's small. It's basically flat there over the past 30 days. Mexico City's next. There's Mexico City, flat over the past 30 days. And next we'll look at Oulu, Finland, and DOMC, Antarctica. There's Oulu. Slight downtick over the past 30 days, and there's DOMC Antarctica, flat over the past 30 days. We like to use the links to cosmic ray data. If you look up links to cosmic ray data, you'll find this site. It's Russian. I wouldn't sweat it. And let's get back to some daily space weather stuff. How about the real-time solar wind? Real-time solar wind currently at a density of about 4.3, about 4.4 protons per cubic centimeter. Current solar wind speed very low, about as low as we ever see it, 286 kilometers a second, making for a weak magnetosphere. KP index has been at 0 for the past 15 hours. Here is the magnetohydrodynamic pressure, and you can see a weak magnetosphere caused by a very low speed solar wind velocity. And that's 4 hours of data. We show it daily. Next, we'll look at ground magnetic perturbation since we're living through a polar excursion. By the way, this data is courtesy University of Michigan. And we don't see a lot of ground magnetic perturbations here. Not a lot of induction caused by incoming protonic solar wind. Solar wind mostly comprised of hydrogen nuclei. Proton flux is flat. We saw a couple B-class flares here in the past 24. Nothing to write home about. If you're up before dawn, you may see some bright objects there rising before the sun. And we're just at sunrise here at about 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. I'm located in Lehigh Valley. I like to use in-the-sky.org. There's your star chart. Where will you be when Cygnus rises? Here's where stuff is in the solar system. There's where things are expected to be in a week. As Venus and Mercury swing around the sun, we may pick up some Mercury and some Venus on the LASCO C3. Stay tuned for that in later videos. Here's the GOES magnetometer data. And we're going to continue to see pretty spiky sawtooth patterns on this as we've got some incoming irregularities in the corona. So you can see here on the Gong 2 top view ecliptic plane field plot. Let's bring up the last image. You see all these structures here. These are all plasma structures that are sort of blocking the detection of the magnetic field. That plasma is heating up and being oriented to the magnetic field force lines. And that's going to be the cause of some continued magnetometer spikiness. Whether there's a sunspot hidden back in there, I don't know. If there is one, it would be at the trailing edge of that active group, which we can't quite see from Earth. You could find it on stereo A. Perhaps we'll do another video about that later. Here's the coronal hole field plot line of sight perspective. North Pole shown in green, South Pole shown in red. Also, we're going to show the line of sight field plot, which also shows the sun's Z fields, the solar polar fields in green and red. And lastly, the coronal field plot, showing you open potential field force lines in purple, closed potential field force lines in pink, and coronal hole, regular old everyday polar open potential field force lines in black. We are solidly in the North Pole current sheet, and we're not expecting to be out of it anytime soon. Let's talk electrons. We don't see any significant charging hazards. There's your 1-year chart of the electron flux. And we're expecting pretty flat electron levels here over the next 24 to 36 hours. There is the 3-day chart of the, essentially, it is the electron density. It is the electron density in the Van Allen belts. This is measured at the F2 layer, right at the sort of the bottommost portion of a Van Allen belt, measured by the GOES 16. Here's a visualization of the total air column all the way up to the thermosphere, which is, by the way, at a much, much higher altitude than the GOES 16. And we do see some continued anomalies over North America here, seeing some slight increases there in things like GPS errors. Next, we'll look at just one slice of this, just the ionosphere layer, courtesy of Bureau of Meteorology of Australia. Here's the latest image. It's from 11:45 Universal Time. Nothing to write home about there. Thanks to our patrons, by the way. Thanks for being the true source of funding for the content, as we make practically nothing through Google Fraudware AdSense. Google Junkware Fraudware AdSense pays us just about zero to make this content. And perhaps we'll do a video about why we make the videos. I assure you there's a perfectly legitimate reason. And thanks again to patrons. Again, the true source of funding for the content. Thanks for leaving comments. Be stoic. Yes, the magnetosphere movies are collected by a very complicated system. Yeah, the code is not easily grabbed, but for you viewers out there, if you look up Geospace Magnetosphere movies, you scroll down to the bottom of the page, you'll see details. Click on that. That will direct you to the Space Weather Modeling Framework, where you can read about how those Geospace Magnetosphere movies are generated. We're glad to see that you figured it out. Be stoic. Next, looking at volcanoes here. What's erupting, you ask? Well, Stromboli has now gone back onto the list, producing stronger than usual explosions. Looks like about a 1,000-foot ash plume there, but some reddish-brown, earthy-colored particles ejected. Interesting. Kluchevskoye is also exploding. 20,000-foot ash plume above that. Sakurajima, 8,000-foot ash plume above that. Tukono exploding as well, producing a 6,000-foot volcanic ash plume. Pacaya, an uptick at Pacaya there, down in Guatemala. Explosive and effusive activity. Incandescent lava bombs. Please don't pitch a tent on the lower slopes of Pacaya. That looks like a pyroclastic flow. Let's play a clip. Yowzers. Pacaya erupting. Also, Fuego is on the list, but volcanic ash not seen in satellite. That doesn't mean it's not erupting. Volcanic ash is dissipated at Sangay. Revenador's exploding, flight level 150, 15,000 feet there, and Sabancaya exploding, flight level 240. It's producing a 24,000-foot ash plume. Please don't pole vault the caldera. And check it out, we've got meridional jet stream flow blowing backwards here. Over northern Asia. And let me cut that video as it's making noises. It's on repeat. Anyway, there are the jet streams of the eastern world. And you can see once again, we see the jet stream blowing the wrong way across the Indian Ocean, east to west. Here are the jets of the western world, I think. There are the western world's jet streams. An extreme bend there near Bermuda, making for some cold air being injected into the Caribbean. Now we're on windy.com, who, by the way, has a great mobile app. I'm not paid to say that, by the way. Windy.com, not a sponsor. And here's where we expect via the GFS forecast for pressure cells to be at 12 noon tomorrow. I'm just rocking it back and forth here. There's 12 noon tomorrow my time. Powerful low pressure system there in between Canada and Greenland, as well as between Greenland and Norway. Largest earthquake of the past 24 was a 6.1 in the Philippine Sea. There's a location of that. Zoom out. And let's check the list. Looks like we saw some significant quakes here around Yellowstone. A 4.1 magnitude. All right, let's go up the list here. And we're seeing some deep quakes kicking off. So, starting out things with a 214-kilometer deep quake at a 4.5 magnitude, followed only 15 minutes later by a 5.3 close by. So 2 deep quakes kicking off there in South America, a 4.5 and a 5.3. The 5.3 is at 142 kilometers depth. Small deep quake at Alaska. Here's that 6.1 at the Philippines. It came in at 22:37 Universal Time. Another deep quake strikes western South America, as well as Indonesia. A 4.6 magnitude quake strikes Tonga at 110 kilometers. Let's check lightning as we try to view things from a global perspective. And for some reason, we had a break in the coverage. I don't know where it was. I don't know what the last slide we showed was, but let's just move on here. As for some reason, the stream ended, and we're back. Sorry about that, viewers. Here's the US Doppler Radar Map, and here is what's going on in the cloud layer. And I want to quickly zoom in on this area off of the East Coast so people can comment and tell me that that's chemtrails. By the way, the resolution on these maps is 2 kilometers. So if you've ever seen a plane leave a 2 kilometer wide contrail, please leave a comment. And I am aware that they can expand to 2 kilometers. As airplane contrails are indeed pollution, but they're not intentionally spraying chemicals into the stratosphere. Since they're unable to do so, they don't have the equipment in terms of planes or chemicals to do so. There's the cloud layer. And let's move on to the water vapor map here. Let's see what's going on in that same area in the water vapor. And we've got a bunch of dry, massive air giving a push to those systems as the jet stream pushes some cold air down into Pennsylvania. You can see it there, mainly in New York. Great view of that situation. And some massive pressure gradients there over the North Atlantic. Hey everybody, thanks for tuning in. Thanks smAsh team for tuning in to the smAsh stream. We've got bonus features, so keep your head and arms inside the smAsh plane at all times. We're going to show you the 94 angstroms 48-hour SDO video, the intensitygram to show you 0 sunspots, the colorized magnetogram, and then I'm going to vanish. So here's the colorized magnetogram, and we're seeing 0 sunspots. Here's the intensitygram. No dark ombre there. Back to 0 sunspots. Here is the 94 angstroms 48-hour SDO video. Thanks for tuning in. Remember, stare at the sun. Don't drink it if you do, don't drive. And since it'll never be now again, may that solar wind be at your back.